Welcome to the Unapologetic Mompreneur, the podcast for mums with an online business who are ready to take back their time, home, business, and self so they can restore the balance and thrive, both at home and at work, without feeling like they have to choose between the two. I'm your host, Sarah Dew, life and biz coach for mumpreneurs. I'm also a mum, stepmom, wife, introvert, breast cancer survivor, and your mentor for making a change for the better. I've learned how to go from surviving to thriving and unapologetically create a business I love and the life I want for me and my family without worrying about what other people think. And now I'm here to help you do the same. Because being an unapologetic mumpreneur doesn't mean that we're selfish or that we don't care about others. It simply means that we are not afraid to show up as our true, authentic selves, to step into our purpose, do what we know is right for ourselves and the ones we love, and take the steps we need to take to make our dream life and business a reality. Join me each week where I'll be sharing all of my best tips and strategies, plus the occasional dose of tough but gentle love to help you feel empowered, motivated, and confident to take action so that you can become the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. So, are you ready to unapologetically create a business and life you love? Let's do this. Hi there, and welcome to episode 102 of the Unapologetic Mumpreneur podcast and the final part of our 6-part summer reset series. If you are just tuning in, we have been keeping things short and sweet over this summer break with bite-sized episodes, each with a simple challenge to help you reset, refocus, and feel ready to hit the ground running when the kids go back in September. Each of the challenges that I have been sharing are small but powerful, all totally doable with nothing more than a notebook and pen, so that by come September, you will feel grounded, focused, and clear on what really matters in your business without having sacrificed your summer to make it happen. This is the final challenge of this series where we are going to be wrapping things up and doing a simple exercise to help you pave the way so that you can hit the ground running come September and have a plan to dive straight back into work, knowing exactly what you need to focus on without feeling like you are already playing catch up. Before we dive in, if you haven't listened to the other episodes of this 6-part mini series, I highly recommend that you go and do that. There is still plenty of time for you to do these because, like I said, they're only going to take a few minutes to do each, but they really will set you up for September, back to school, and new term success. In episode 1, the challenge, we talked all about closing the chapter before you turn in the page, of how to dig in of where you've been and at and how things have been so that you can draw a line under that and look at what is coming next. Challenge number 2 was all about going under the hood of your business and giving it a quick business health check of where you are at with your client messaging, your offers, and your visibility so that you know where you need to direct your energies going into the new term. Challenge number 3 was decluttering that business to-do list so that it feels lighter and easier, and the tasks that are on there for you when your kids go back to school are ones that are going to move your business forward. In episode 99, challenge number 4 was all about creating that new term no list of what you are not prepared to take on and take into the new term. And then last week's episode 101, part 5 of the challenge was all about creating that content bank pantry so that you had some ideas of content to create to set yourself up so that when the kids do go back and it's time to start working on your content again, you've got a pantry full of ideas to fall back on. So if you've not yet gone and listened to those episodes and done those challenges, go and do them because future you, September you, really will thank you for doing so. Okay, now ready to dive in and discover what today's final challenge is that is going to set you up for September so that you are going to feel like you are winning before you've even started. Let's dive in. Today's challenge is all about setting your first week up for success. That first week when the kids go back to school, having that plan in place so that you can just open up your laptop, get straight into it without spinning in circles. So you can drop the kids off at school, come home, and instead of sitting there thinking, what was I working on or what was I doing? How far did I get with that? What were my goals again? We are going to take care of all of that today. By the end of this episode and the end of this challenge, you are going to have a plan where your first week back to school, back to work, back to business is all set out and laid, and you know exactly what you are doing. Because we know what it's like when we first go back to school, trying to get our heads around everything, get back into that routine. It takes us a few days to find our groove and get back into the swing of things. And so instead of sitting there spinning in circles, being able to pull that plan out, have a look at it and go, yeah, that's what I'm working on. That is what I'm doing, is going to make your life so much easier. Instead of having no idea of where to start, instead of falling straight into reactive mode, checking emails, scrolling Instagram, cleaning the kitchen, answering DMs, and then wondering why you feel behind by Tuesday, we're going to have none of that this new term. You are going to be set and sorted with this simple 10-minute plan to make now while things are calm, things are quiet, and you have a few minutes to think about how you want that first week to go and look when you first go back to work, when the kids go back to school. This isn't about building a complicated launch calendar, and we're not going to be adding a ton of stuff to your to-do list. This is actually just about getting clear on what matters first so that you are not scrambling later. So grab your planner or a notebook and pen, open up your notes app, grab your calendar. We are going to sketch out 3 key things. We're going to make a plan for the first week. It's going to be quick, it's going to be messy, it's going to be imperfect, and we're going to do it without overthinking. You don't have to have this set in stone. Taking a few minutes to plan this out now, you really will thank yourself later. So first up, I want you to identify your working blocks for that first week the kids go back. What does that week realistically look like for you? What hours do you have? Block them out so you know exactly what you have got to play with. For me, it's Monday to Thursday from 9:30 until 3 p.m. and then on the Friday it's 9:30 until 1 p.m. What does it look like for you? Maybe you've got a couple of hours here or there that you don't have free, or maybe you don't have Wednesday afternoons because of after school clubs. So just get super clear on what your hours are for that first week so that you know how much time you have to play with. Then decide on your focus or your priority for that week. What one big thing will you be focusing on in week 1? Maybe it could be new client onboarding. Maybe it's mapping out your next offer. Maybe it's re-engaging your audience after the break, or doing some content batching using the content pantry that you put together last week's challenge. Maybe it's a bit of launch prep. Ask yourself what will move the needle most forward with the least stress. Be kind to yourself this first week back because you're still getting back into the groove, you're trying to find your way, and you're still trying to get back into that routine of the kids being back at school. So be nice to yourself and pick something that is going to help you move forward, but is actually not going to be too much stress and trauma to try and get back into the swing of things. So pick that one task, that one focus or priority that you're going to be working on in that week 1. For me, it's probably most likely going to be mapping out my content and looking in content batching for my emails and my podcast. Because I batched everything that I needed for the summer break and I batched it right up until the end of September. So that first week the kids are back for me is going to be looking about what my content is going to be for October and November. So what would that one focus or priority be for you? And then finally, get clear on what is not happening that week. This is just as important. Protect those boundaries and give yourself that time to get into the swing of things and make a note or get clear of what you are not doing. So some examples could be not starting a brand new offer. Maybe it's not catching up on a million emails. You're going to save that inbox for another day. Maybe it's no jumping into a full schedule on day 1 and it's giving you time to breathe in gently. If it helps, go back to where we did challenge 4, where we were creating our new term no list, those things that you weren't prepared to take into the new term, and use that to help you answer this one. When you've gathered all of that information, it's time for you to get it into your calendar. Pencil in those work blocks. Add your one big focus for that week. Make a note of what you are clear on, what you are not going to be doing, And then just allow yourself a little bit of space for flexibility, because during that back to school week, the unexpected things always happen. So give yourself a little bit of buffer space and a few empty spaces so that you have a bit of wiggle room. Know that you don't need to do it all. You just need to start with what matters. And that is what this challenge today is all about wrapping everything up over the summer break, thinking and going forward of what you want to focus on in that first week. Returning back to business, dropping your kids off at school, and knowing that you've got a clear plan is like giving your future self a hug. It's taking care of future you now so that you can protect your energies and know exactly what you are going to be working on so that you're not spinning in circles when the kids go back. Complete this challenge and you really, really will thank yourself. It makes such a difference. Once I started doing this every single term, not just the end of the summer holidays, it made a massive difference in my business. I instantly went in and knowing what I was doing, I felt calm and collected. I was able to enjoy the rest of the summer break, knowing that I had that taken care of, instead of trying to remember all of the things that I wanted to do in my business. So do this, and you really will be so glad that you did, I promise you. I would love to know what your one focus for your first week back is going to be. Send me a DM over on Instagram and share it with me so that I can be there cheering you on. You have got this. I hope that you have enjoyed this 6-part mini series. Make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast so that you know when any of the future episodes drop, but so that you can also come back to these because guess what? You can use these every single school holiday. They will really help you set up for success over the breaks so that you can enjoy the time with your kids, knowing that things are still going on for you in your business. You can return to things when the kids go back with a clear plan instead of feeling like you are already playing catch up. As always, you have got this, Mama. Have fun with this, and I cannot wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you so much for joining me for another installment of the Unapologetic Mumpreneur podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I would love for you to leave me a rating and a review so that other mumpreneurs can find this podcast too. Here's to unapologetically becoming the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. I can't wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now.